Hello everyone, welcome back to Everyday Shed. I'm Carlos, and in this video we are building a firewood shed that's gonna keep your firewood dry and ready for use at any moment. And if you want to build your own shed, we also have plans available at everydayshed.com that you can download and follow along. This will make your build much simple and straightforward. The shed starts with footers, which we call either skids or runners. These are made of 4x4 pressure treated lumber. They create a strong base to build the shed on top of. We're gonna need two pieces that are 8 feet long. Store-bought lumber are usually a little longer and they do need to be trimmed back a little bit to the exact length. We also need 2x4 pressure treated lumber to frame the floor. You will notice that I am mainly using just two sets of power tools, a circular saw for all of the cuts and a drill to drive screws. And with all the floor pieces cut, the framing can start to be assembled. For the framing, I am using 3 1/8 inch GRK framing screws. They cost a little more than the regular screws, but their grip is much better and makes building this shed much easier. Framing rim joist gets secured to the skids first. I use 2 screws to secure the rim joist to the outside joist. This is just so we can get the framing square built up. And before we get too far ahead building out this floor, you want to make sure it's leveled and squared. You can level this floor using concrete blocks, wood shims, and if you're building this on a flat surface area, that may be sufficient. For me, I have a little slope here and I want to keep the lumber off the ground. So I'm going to use these pedestals that we have. They are adjustables and you're going to stack them up with different lengths, satisfying any slope that you may have. And if you're curious where we get these pedestals, I'm going to leave a link in the description and I'm going to put your QR code right here for you on the screen. A pedestal goes on each corner and then you can adjust up and down until you get a level position. After leveling the front, you do the same steps on the back, making sure that it's leveled. And remember, you can stack the pedestals with multiple extensions until you get the height you need. With the floor frame leveled, the next step is to square it. It's done by measuring from corner to corner. When both diagonal measurements match, that means that the frame is square. The floor joists were first planned to be 24 inches apart. And after I recorded this video, I decided to change that to 12 inches apart. Spacing them 12 inches will make the floor much stronger to support the weight of the firewood. And if you're following along with the plans, you'll notice that on the plans, I do note to be 12 inches apart. For the floor decking, I'm using 1 1/4 inch deck boards. They are a great choice for this type of shed. These boards will keep the floor strong and also leave small gaps between the boards to help allow airflow and moisture, which is very important for the firewood. And remember that each board needs to get trimmed back to 8 feet. That's because store-bought boards are longer than 8 foot. Fastening the deck boards is pretty simple. I'm using 2.5 inch deck screws from GRK. The same screws are going to get used for other parts of the build. That keeps the number of fasteners to a minimum. Any screws you don't use here, save them. We're going to be using them again shortly. And as each deck board gets installed, I'm keeping a ½ inch of gap between the boards. This is gonna allow the airflow and help moisture dry out. If you have a ½ inch thick board, you can use it as a guide. And in order to continue building this as simple as possible, we are only using 3 types of fastener. As previously mentioned, the 3 1/8 inch screw for all the framing. Right now, the 2.5 inch screw for the floor and the siding. And the only additional fastener we need to purchase for this project is the 1.25 inch roofing nails for the drip edge and shingles, which you'll see later on. And once you have one side of the deck boards screwed down, you do the same thing on the opposite end. After both ends of the deck boards are secured, each board still needs to be fastened to the floor joist. A chalk line can help you find the center of the joist so the screws go in straight. If you're comfortable without one, you can fasten the boards just by looking at it. With the floor finished, it's time to start building the walls and setting in place. The back wall is the first wall to be built. It's a pretty simple wall, having the studs spaced 24 inches apart, and also it's only 4 feet tall. And in here I'm using the same 3 1/8 inch GRK frame screws that we use on the floor to build out this wall. The back wall gets set aside so we can make room to frame the side walls. Framing the walls on the floor, it's great because it's a flat and level surface. If you have a driveway or garage, that also works well, as long as the surface is fairly leveled. With the walls framed, they're ready to be installed. I start with the back wall. It gets screwed to the floor frame with 2 screws on each bay. The side wall goes up next, just like the back wall. The only difference here, this is the time to make sure that both walls are plumbed as they go up. Couple things before we continue. When you drive your screws on the bottom plate, make sure you align with the deck board. Otherwise, if you drive where there's no deck board, there's nothing for the screw to grab, and that's gonna be loose. And you wanna have 2 screws on each side, and then once you get to this point, you can drive screws going up the wall all the way to the top. Now we need to finish up installing the third wall while keeping everything nice and plumb. I add 2 4x4 posts at the front of the side walls, one on each side. You can use 2x4s if you want to save some money. I like using the 4x4 because 1, they're stronger, and 2, it gives a better look and more character for the shed. I have 2 2x4s sitting sideways on top of the post, and they're being used as a top plate. I installed them the same way as everything else using the 3 1/8 inch GRK framing screws. The side walls are going to be covered using 1x6 siding. This is pressure treated material just like everything else we've been using so far. The boards gets installed from the top down. I like to keep an 1.5 inch gap all the way, so I use a scrap piece of 2x4 Any extra lengths at the bottom can just be left as is and there's no need to be cut. The back gets covered with LP Smart Siding. One sheet is enough for the entire back wall. This sheet will get cut in half, giving us two pieces to cover everything. When working by yourself, a little extra support helps a long way. In this case, I use a 2x4 laid sideways right underneath the deck boards. This creates a small ledge. The siding now can rest on this ledge while I drive screws into it. That way, there's no need to hold the siding in place and try to drive screws at the same time. I added one coat of exterior paint to the back of the shed. This step is optional, but it helps protect the siding. If you choose to paint, I recommend selecting darker colors because it helps blend the shed in and it stays less noticeable. The roof work starts right here. A 2x4 is placed right on top of the shed, leaving a 6-inch overhang in the front. I use a level to square things up and draw a line right vertically and horizontally to the top plate. The same steps are done on the back, and once it's marked, I can get this out and cut it out. The cut gets made on the 2x4, then it's placed back on the shed for a test fit. If it looks good, the first rafter is almost done. The last step here is marking how much of an overhang you want on the back. After that, the rafter is complete and ready to be copied for the rest of the shed. This roof uses 5 rafters total. The first rafter gets used as a template for the others. Lay it on top of the remaining boards and trace the shape with a pencil. When cutting the notches out, it's okay if you run the saw slightly past the line. This is a light roof and only needs to be keeping the weather off. The rafters are installed 24 inches apart, just like the walls, and there should be 5 total. Each rafter is installed with 2 screws on the front and 2 in the back. You want to try to drive these screws at a 50-degree angle or as close to a 50-degree angle as possible. After all the rafters are installed, the front and the back fascia boards will go on. I use a small block on the end of the rafter to help hold up the fascia in place while I drive screws onto it. Any excess that you have can be cut with a circular saw. Two small blocks will go on the lower end of the roof. This is to be used to support the roofing deck as I install it on the roof. The roof for the shed will use one full sheet of roofing decking and another strip of 10 inches right on top of it. A drip edge is really important on this roof. The roof deck is made from OSB and OSB does not handle water very well. The drip edge will keep water from soaking into the edge of the roofing deck, making it drip away from the roof. This is a small roof, so it can easily be done with roofing nails and a hammer. I'm using about 1.5 bundle of shingles. You can use 3-tab shingles. I'm using architecture shingles because it's what I already have in stock for my other builds. This is also what I'm gonna be listing in the material list along with the plans. I did use a battery power roofing nailer. That's only because it was right here available for me and it helped me finish the job before I ran out of daylight. You can do this simply with a hammer and roofing nails if you only have that available. A corner trim gets added to finish off the firewood shed. This step is mostly for looks. It's only a few extra bucks for 1x6 boards and it makes the shed look much nicer. You're gonna end up with some extra 4x4 pieces from cutting the posts. They make great corner braces. It's the small detail. One adds strength to the shed and also it makes it look much better. This shed turned out great. It's a very easy and simple project. If you want to know how much I spent building this shed, I'm gonna leave a video for you right here. That video, it's on our Shed School channel and it's gonna talk about not only how much I spent and how much I'm able to sell a shed like this and what the profits would look like. If you're interested in that, check out our Shed School channel. I hope you learned something in this video. Thank you for watching.